the previous session, we have seen about the time and data functions as well as the time delta function. Now, in today's session, we'll start regarding these Python libraries, right? So introduction to libraries, right? So before going to this libraries session, first let us know what is meant by this library and where we have to use these libraries and why we have to use libraries, right? So here, see, a library is nothing but a module. So we can also call it as a module. So this library will be having the built-in functions or methods. These libraries will be having built-in functions or methods which can be reduced the user to write the code for a particular application. So the user may use these built-in functions or methods to develop an application. So that writing the code will be reduced. So mainly this is for reducing the code. So built-in functions will be there. So in order to implement these built-in functions, first we have to know about this library, and before using these built-in functions, we have to install this library. Okay, so for example, in the previous languages, so for example, if you consider the C language, so there we are using some math.h header file, right? Math.h, because in this they are having some power function, okay, square root function, and all the remaining different mathematical functions will be implemented in this header file, so that if you want to execute these functions, the C language should include this header file, right? So without using this header file, we can't implement these functions, because the implementation of these functions will be available in this header file, right? Similarly, the built-in functions or methods will be available in library, so that we have to install this library. We have to install this library for our Python software. So then only we can use these built-in functions or methods, right? Now, we know that Python is user-friendly. We have already seen in the first sessions, right? So features and benefits of using Python. So one major benefit of using this Python programming is libraries. So here the Python is having more than 200 plus libraries. 200 plus libraries. Each library will be having number of built-in functions and methods. So it will make the programmer very easy to implement the application or develop the application, right? So in these 200 libraries, most of them are free licensed, are free, and we can use for commercial purpose, and most of them are open source. So majority of the libraries can be used in a Python in a free of cost. So we can make use of these libraries, the Python libraries, and we can develop the different applications. So we have seen the applications of Python. So web-based applications, we can develop the web-based applications, we can develop the front-end applications, we can develop the banking applications, we can develop the this gaming applications. So there are different areas, different wide range of applications can be developed by using Python, just because of these 200 plus libraries, right? So it is somewhat difficult to learn all the 200 plus libraries. So for this session, I will give you around 30 libraries. Just I will give a brief introduction, right? So just where these libraries will be used, in which type of applications these libraries will be used, and from the next session we can elaborate some important libraries, right? So let us start exploring the libraries. So there are different libraries. So I will give you one by one, just an introduction. That means in which type of application the libraries will be used. I will give you around 30 libraries in this session, right? So first, so I will follow the alphabetical order. See, Arrow. Arrow is an library which is used for working with date and times. So already we have seen some functions, time delta function and date time module and all these things. Apart from that, we are also having some sort of library called Arrow, in which we can see the built-in functions for these dates and times. We can manipulate these dates and times by installing this Arrow library, right? Next. Bokeh. Bokeh is one more library which is used for interactive visualization of data. Interactive visualization. So visualization means in terms of graphs or charts like that, right? Visualization, so pictorial, okay? Visualization of data. And here it will be using the HTML and JavaScripts for getting the graphics. Okay, for getting the graphics, it will use this HTML and JavaScripts in this Bokeh library. And the third one, Beautiful Soap. This is one more library, Beautiful Soap. So this library is used for, so it is a parsing library. This is also called as a parsing library. Parsing library. So this is used for parsing the data from HTML. So it is mainly used for the parsing the data from HTML. So this is also called as web scraping. Web scraping, right? Web scraping. So next one, CIRQ. CIRQ. So here the name itself indicates that is to implement the circuits, right? So this is for creating noisy intermediate scale quantum circuits. Okay, circuits. So this is mainly used to reveal the components on a circuit. Components of a circuit. So we know that circuit will be having a lot of components, right? So in order to reveal the individual components from the circuit, we can go with this CIRQ, which will create this noisy intermediate scale quantum circuits, which is also called as NISQ. NISQ. Okay, right. And the next, so I'm just giving the brief idea. That means where we are going to use these libraries, right? So in the next session, we'll go one by one elaborating. See, one more important library is a Django library. So this is mainly for data analysis. So in order to analyze the data, that means if you are having a large amount of data, so how to process the data set and how to analyze the data, for that purpose we'll go with the Django library. So in the next sessions we'll go deep in this Django library, right? So processing data sets, all right? Next, ELEPHI. So ELEPHI is one more library that is mainly used for mathematical computations. So this is for mathematical computations. in a short time. So in order to use this mathematical computation in very short time, we will go with this LE5 library, LE5. Flash text. So flash text means this is for search and replacement of words. Searching and replacement of words in the given data. In given data or a string. Okay, in a given data or a string. So here, what is the input for this? So here the input is set of words or string. So this is the input for this flash text, and this will not be worked for a part of words or the special symbols. So doesn't work for finding or extracting part of a word or special symbols, right? This is all about this flash text. Okay, next. Keras. Keras is one more library. So this is a machine learning library. So it's used in machine learning or data mining. So we can implement the concepts like regression, clustering, etc. So all these concepts can be implemented by using the built-in functions available in this Keras. Okay, so Arrow, Bouquet, Beautiful Soap, Cirque, Django, LE5, Flash Text, and Keras. Okay, these are the few libraries, Python libraries available. So we'll go with one more thing. So one more important thing is matplotlib. So this will be useful for all the researchers. So this matplotlib is for designing charts, graphs, pie charts, scatter plots, histograms, etc. So in order to design these charts or graphs or pie charts or scatter plots, we'll use this matplotlib. That means this is also one type of data visualization, right? So this is most important thing. So we'll see elaborately in the next further sessions, right? So next, Mahota. Mahota is an image processing library. Image processing library. So in order to do the manipulations on images, right? Manipulations on images, we can go with this Mahota. So one more important thing is NumPy. So most of the libraries will be using this NumPy library as internal package. Okay, so this NumPy is nothing but a numerical Python. So main use of this numerical Python is array representations, array problems. So array representation of data can be implemented by using this numerical Python, right? So that's why, so majority of the libraries will be using this NumPy as an internal library. So it will be embedded in the libraries, right? So this is also very important. We'll see this one also in the further sessions, right? Next, NLTK. So NLTK means Natural Language Processing Library. This one, processing toolkit. So this is mainly used for, as usual, the natural language processing. So in the natural language processing, we will be using this NLTK. Right. Next one is Network X. Network X. So the name itself indicates this is the library meant for creating or working on complex networks. Right? So network based applications can be implemented with the help of this Network X library. OpenCV. OpenCV is one more library available in this Python. This OpenCV is the open source computer vision library. So this is also completely meant for the image processing, right? So this is also for image processing. Image processing library. So one more important thing is pandas. One more important thing is pandas. So pandas is for also data analysis. So and features for these pandas is like re-indexing, some sorting type applications, some iterative applications, some concatenations, etc. So lot of features available for these pandas. So this is, we can say it is an extension for NumPy, right? So data analysis, main thing for using these pandas is for data analysis, right? PyTorch. So one more library. This PyTorch is again used for machine learning algorithms, to implement the machine learning algorithms, as well as deep learning, and also deep learning. So it can also be used in deep learning, right? So PyTorch. And Pygame. The name itself indicates this is meant for writing video games. So this is for writing the video games, and here it will be mainly consists of computer graphics and sound waves. Okay. Is having the computer graphics and sound libraries or sound waves. So this is like Pygame. Pygame is for Python games, writing the games. Right. Next one is request. This is also for networking applications, and this request is for creating HTTP request responsively and user friendly. So in order to create this HTTP request responsively and user friendly, to make it user friendly, we'll go with this request package, okay, library. See, scikit-learn. The next one is scikit-learn, which is used for machine learning. It's also machine learning, large machine learning library. Okay. Similarly, scikit-image. Again, this is for image processing. Image processing, right? So like computer vision and everything, right? Next, SciPy. SciPy is nothing but scientific Python. Scientific Python. So it is mainly used for getting the mathematical applications like statistics, some algebra, integration, etc. Okay. So in order to get all these things, we'll go with this SciPy, scientific Python. Seaborn. Seaborn is also very important library. It's an data visualization library. It's a high level, interactive and informative. Interactive and informative package. This Seaborn. Okay. SymPy. Symbolic computations. SymPy is used for symbolic computations. So, see, one more important thing, SQL Alchemy. SQL Alchemy. And this library is meant for communication between Python language and database. Okay, database. So connectivity of Python and database, those type of built-in functions or methods will be available in this SQL Alchemy library. TensorFlow. So TensorFlow is also used for machine learning. It's a machine learning library. See, it is also a machine learning library, and to compute tensor operations. See, tensor operations. So what is meant by this tensor operations? Tensor operations means representing the data in n-dimensional matrices. So it will use it to represent data in n-dimensional matrices. So we can say this is also an extension for NumPy, because NumPy is mainly focusing on the arrays concept, right? So this is a tensor operations. In order to compute these tensor operations, we'll go with this TensorFlow. Theano, so is one more machine learning library, just similar to this TensorFlow, similar to TensorFlow, but not efficient than TensorFlow, and it can be implemented in both parallel and distributed systems environments. Okay, parallel and distributed environments, right? So in order to compute these tensors, we can either go for TensorFlow or Theano. Okay, so these are all libraries can be combined, and one library can be embedded in another library. For example, if you go to the Keras, so it can be implemented with the help of either TensorFlow or Theano. So that's also one library, and it will be embedding one more library called this TensorFlow or Theano. Right? So next. Text block. So this text block is also for textual language processing. The main goal of this text block is tokenization. What is meant by tokenization? This tokenization means dividing sentence or a string into simple words. So another way we can also say that extracting words from a sentence, right? So dividing the complete string into parts, different parts. So here the part is nothing but a word, right? So the tokenization is the main feature of this text block. So one more important I have missed, that is Pillow. Pillow uses the PAIL, which is nothing but Python Image Library. So it uses this Python Image Library. The name itself indicates this is also meant for the image manipulations. Like, so it supports the formats, the image formats like BMP, bitmap, some PDFs, some JPEG, some GIFs, etc. So all major image formats will be supported with this Pillow. And similarly, it also supports the filters, image filters. So if you are working with image, you should know about these filters. Filters means blur filter, smooth filter, sharpen filter, etc. There will be a number of filters available for these images, right? So everything will be included in this Pillow library. That is a PIL, a Python image library. WX Python. So this WX Python is used for GUI applications to developing GUI. GUI means graphical user interface, right? So graphical user interface, that means the user can create customized layouts. So user can create a customized layouts by using this WX Python. Web2Py. One more thing is Web2Py. This library is used to create dynamic web developments or dynamic web content. You can simply say dynamic web content. So all the dynamic web contents can be created by using this Web2Py, Web2 Python, right? So So these are the few libraries of a Python, right? It's available in a Python. So as I have said that around 200 plus libraries are available in Python, so that's why this Python is, we are saying that Python is a user friendly and it will make the user easy to develop any type of applications. So in this, we can see the number of packages related to image processing, number of packages related to language processing, number of packages related to gaming, number of packages related to scientific applications, number of packages related to mathematical applications, right? So also web applications. We have also seen the web applications and also database connectivity, right? So these are the few libraries. So around it may be 30 libraries I have explained. So just this library, the use of this library, where, in which type of application this library will be used. So in the next sessions, we'll go with a few libraries, elaborate with few libraries. So that is NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, TensorFlow, Scikit. So I will elaborate the functions available in these packages. Okay, so NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, TensorFlow and Scikit. So later we will discuss about the remaining libraries. Right? So this is just an introduction to Python libraries. So hope you understood this one, and keep following our channel, and if you are having any doubts regarding this Python or these libraries, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section, so that definitely I will try to clarify all your doubts. And if you are having, if you really understood my session, like my session, share my session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.